back to continue with our biology and strictly continuing with our nervous coordination. We actually looked at the central nervous system partly. We looked at the brain, the parts of the brain, their functions, and the overall functions of the brain. Did you know that scenarios will be simpler if you have this information? You will be able to apply the work when you understand it well. When you understand the grassroots, I'm online to give you another alternative source of information other than the books we have at schools. And we are doing this for free. The only reward you can give back to us is to subscribe. Tap that bell for more notifications, for notifications about more videos about us. You tap the thumb that is facing up if you really like our work. You don't forget to share the work if it is good to your other friends to also be part of us. I'm online. I want us to continue with the central nervous system and look at the spinal cord. We shall find that the spinal cord is that part of the central nervous system that connects the peripheral nervous system to the brain. So the link between these two systems is the spinal cord. So we are looking at the functions of the spinal cord. So it links impulses from the peripheral nervous systems to the brain for interpretation. We saw that the central nervous systems, the parts of the central nervous system coordinates impulses. Coordinates and interprets impulses from the receptor cells. And this kind of impulses coordinated by the spinal cord are those impulses that are within the simple, the reflex arc. So it is the spinal cord that coordinates and interprets impulses within the spinal cord. The reflex arc. We shall find that it is the spinal cord that initiates simple reflexes. It is the spinal cord to do this. So we are giving some of the functions of the spinal cord. And if you know the structure of the spinal cord has a small opening to a swelling of this kind on both sides, the upper and the lower parts. You may think we are flowing. I'm not very good at art, but I'll try to draw. I'll try to draw a simple structure of the spinal cord. It has another part we call the gray matter. So this part consists of the white matter of the spinal cord. These swellings you see here receives the cell body of the sensory organ. Of the cell body of the sensory neuron. Remember, we said a sensory neuron has a longer dendron, and we said that it is only the axon of the sensory neuron that enters the gray matter. This is known as the gray matter. This is known as the white matter of the spinal cord, in the middle of which gray matter there is a small canal, a small tunnel. We shall look at it and its function. Inside the gray matter, we only find the axon, the terminal end of the axon of the sensory neuron, and the whole leading neuron actually linking to the sensory neuron somewhere and to the dendrites of the motor neuron inside. We said it is the cell body of the motor neuron is located inside the gray matter of the spinal cord. So this is a leading neuron. This is the cell body of the, let's look at it. For the motor neuron, it has a very long axon connecting to the effector tissue, and the sensory neuron connects to the receptor tissue or to the receptor cells by the dendron. We are looking at this. We need to know this information. So when you look at this, I'm using one side to explain. So this is a simple structure of the spinal cord. It consists of the gray matter. It consists of the white matter. And in the gray matter, there are the following neurons. We have the leading neuron inside. We have the cell body of the motor neuron and the terminal end of the axon of the sensory neuron, parts of the neurons of the peripheral nervous system in the gray matter. The other structures of the peripheral nervous system are located outside the gray matter, and these include the axon of the motor neuron. So this is the axon of the motor neuron, and the dendron of the sensory neuron. This is the cell body of the sensory neuron. The dendron of the sensory neuron connects to the receptor organ. The receptor organ is one that receives the stimuli and then converts it to the impulses. Then the axon of the motor neuron links up or connects to the effector tissue. The effector tissue is one that causes that responds to the stimuli. For this one, the receptor is for detection of a stimuli and formation of impulses. So a simple structure of the spinal cord. Let me think we are flowing. We've mentioned some of the functions of the spinal cord, and we've given them, like you are seeing them. We have connecting the peripheral nervous system to the brain, the center of simple reflexes, receiving impulses from receptors, sending impulses to the effectors, and interpretation. So we've mentioned all. There is also interpretation We mentioned it. Interpretation. We also have receiving impulses from the receptor cells or the receptors. We can also mention that as another function. For any function of the spinal cord I'm forgetting about, you can mention it in your comment section. I'll read it to your friends. So this is simply the spinal cord before we continue. If you have any question and any supplement, please post it. I read it. But those are some of them. So Hadax is with us, so most welcome. Anita is a new member, I know. I'd never seen her. You're most welcome. Jemima is with us as always. Hashtag Brio is with us today. You're most welcome. Any question? I'm entertaining any questions. I'll come back and read them if you don't mind. So this leads us to what we call the peripheral nervous system. So this drives us to the peripheral nervous system. We said the peripheral nervous system is made up of nerves which make up the sensory nervous system and the motor nervous system. We further said that the motor nervous system is further divided into the somatic nervous system that controls the voluntary actions of the body, and the autonomic nervous system. I know we all know this. So the motor nervous system is further divided into the somatic nervous system that controls the voluntary actions of the body, and then the autonomic nervous system that controls all involuntary actions of the body. The voluntary actions of the body are those responses or actions carried out by the body under one's will, under the control of the brain. You have control over them. You have a right of doing them or not doing them. They are the voluntary actions. We can think of many. We talk of dancing. So this somatic nervous system, this connection of motor nerves linked to muscles that control all actions that can, all responses that can be controlled by the body. It's my decision to move these hands. I can move them or not. I can dance or not. I can wave or not. I have control over all these things I'm doing. I have a right of bending or staying straight. I have a right to run. I can control whether I should run, walk slowly, or faster. All of those are voluntary actions. They are controlled by the somatic nervous system. And then the autonomic or involuntary actions are ones, they are actually automatic responses or automatic actions carried out by the body. Things things that occur to one's body without his or her will. For these ones cannot be initiated by the brain, though the brain can control them. But they are not initiated by the brain. The voluntary ones, the somatic nerves are controlled, and actually the somatic or voluntary actions are initiated and controlled by the brain. Yes, the involuntary actions or the autonomic actions of the body are coordinated by the brain and the spinal cord, but they are not initiated by the brain. They occur automatically. They occur without one's will. We can give examples of breathing. Breathing. No one has control over breathing. You don't wake up in the morning and say, "Thou will not breathe. Thou breathe faster," or "I'll breathe slowly." It is an automatic response or action carried out by the body. Heartbeat. You don't have control over the rate at which the heart beats. No. It is automatic. It is coordinated by the autonomic nervous system. It occurs without your will, though the brain can regulate or control these actions. We talk of coughing. Whether you like or not, you will cough. Sighing. Blinking, you have no control over blinking. The adjustments to the size of the pupil, whether the pupil widens or narrows, it is automatic. So those kinds of actions are known as involuntary actions. Let me think I'm flowing and educating all of us. So to go into details, the involuntary actions may be responses to certain stimuli. And in most cases, these responses will be termed as reflex actions. To cut the story short, a reflex action will be that automatic response by the body actually to any stimuli. Any automatic response, any response one has no control over is known as a reflex action. When someone tries to slap or to point a finger close to your eye and the eye closes automatically, that is a reflex action. You do not control the closing of the eye. When you maybe inhale dust and you sneeze, that is a reflex action. It is automatic. The reflex actions may be simple reflex actions or conditioned reflexes. I know we looked at this in our schools. We say we don't give everything, but we give a clue on what you should know. A simple reflex, we shall find that a simple reflex is any rapid, it is any that any automatic response that is very rapid towards any stimuli. Any stimuli that is triggering any rapid automatic response, that kind of a response is known as a reflex, a simple reflex action. Let me think we are flowing together. So the reflex actions may be simple or conditioned. The simple ones are ones that are rapid and automatic. The conditioned ones are the ones that take time and most times learned reflexes. For example, talking, dancing, all those are conditioned reflexes. The simple ones are the ones, for example, the knee jerk, when you are tapped on the knee using a patella hammer. When you are hit by a patella hammer on the knee moves automatically. The blinking of the eye, when any strange object tries to touch the eye, it is a reflex action. You have no control over that. And the response is very rapid. When you touch a hot pan with bare hands, the fingers will automatically withdraw from that hot pan. It is very rapid. By the time you get to know that you have withdrawn or you had touched a hot pan, the hand will already be off from that hot pan. So the simple responses, the simple reflexes are automatic, yes, like conditioned, but for them they are very rapid. They occur quickly. And the path undertaken by these simple reflexes from sensation of the stimuli to a response is known as a reflex arc. These simple reflexes are initiated by the spinal cord, though coordinated by both the brain and the spinal cord. The coordination of simple reflexes involves the use of all the three neurons. Let me think we are flowing. And before we go into that details of the reflex arc, I want to first go through your comments before we continue. Sammy Jellings is like the spinal cord has the ascending tract and the descending tract. I've decided to use that. So the spinal cord has the descending tract and the ascending tract. Yes, you're right. You are very right. Doesn't that mean that the brain also interprets impulses within the reflex arc? It is very true. I've said the brain, yes, interprets and coordinates impulses within the reflex arc, but it has no role it plays in the initiation of any response in the reflex arc. It interprets and it has control over the response, but it does not initiate it. The response is initiated by the spinal cord. It is automatic and rapid. So by the time the information is transmitted to the brain, though it is rapid, although it is not initiated by the brain, Mr. Jellings. Let me think I've responded to you. The brain has, there's another question here. Someone was telling you to zoom in, hashtag was telling you to zoom in to the functions of the spinal cord. but we can repeat. I know, did you zoom them? We shall go through them again. So a customer is contributing some of the reflex actions, the pupillary light reflexes. You are true. What is the gray matter and the white matter made of? That is from Sammy Jerins. We are going to look at that. Ruth Navada is contributing about yawing. It's contributing yawing as a reflex action. Knee-jerking, anger, eye blinking, that is from #Blio. So I want your contributions and comments before you continue, before you go any further. But I appreciate especially Sammy today. Sammy is a new member, but very active. I appreciate your contribution towards the learning of your friends. So he's asking, what is the gray matter made of? We are contributing. Can someone contribute to that? Need not to be a dictator. Please, please, please. Please. Please, please, members, we contribute. I don't want to be a dictator. I want contributions from all of us. Sammy, I'm so grateful if you appreciate it. I want your contributions about what makes up the gray matter. We start with that. Please. I don't want to go into that detail, some, because we shall confuse many. But they should basically know that the gray matter is made up of cells. We shall not go into the details. The glial cells, we know them. We know the neurons. You saw the neurons inside the gray matter. We saw the stromatolites. They are very, very hard terms. Some you don't want to go into that detail. It will be hard to your friends. Let me think. Some you agree with me. The details of what makes up the gray and the white matter should be left out. I request. That is a very hard concept for O level. And actually not part of the curriculum. Deal agreed? Maybe yes. Let's continue. Some Gerings, I'm grateful. The concept may be too hard to your friends. The chemicals that make up those things, the glial cells, what and what, they are hard concepts. That can push us to what we call the reflex arc. But before we go into that detail of the reflex arc, can I know any simple reflex action? Any simple reflex action and the role it plays from your people. Let's think of knee jerking. Which role does this knee jacking contribute? What is the function? Why should a knee jack when touched? How is that important? How is that important, people? Please, people. Why should a knee jack when tapped? We are looking at the importance, the examples of simple reflexes and the importance. Why should one feel hungry? So anger, no hungry. Yes? Why should one feel hungry? Why should the eye blink? Why should the pupil adjust in size? The functions, the importance. To survival of any organism. The importance of all these reflex actions. Why should one withdraw of body when in contact with sharp objects or hot surfaces? So I would like responses to this. Why should one sweat? So I would like to find, maybe you make a summary of this kind in your books, and maybe take a snap of it and send it to the WhatsApp group of Mto Online. And we said, if you're not part of Mto Online, our WhatsApp group, please reach us via 0703 278 231. This is our WhatsApp number. When you reach us, we shall automatically add you to the group. So you tell us the importances of the knee jacking when tapped, the importances of blinking, the importances of the eye pupil adjusting in size, the importances of withdrawing the hand and other parts of the body when in contact with hot surfaces and sharp objects. We'd like to find that. And if you don't mind, allow me share the information about the reflex arc. Very fresh minds, very fresh, because it is an important concept. You need to know when you're sober, when you're concentrated, and so on. So with that, allow me have a short break and meet again.